Welcome. Thanks for choosing this Airbnb host dashboard, your all-in-one tool to track, manage, and grow your short-term rental business with ease. Whether you're managing one cozy apartment or a dozen busy properties, this setup sheet is your first step toward gaining clarity and control over your operations. Let's walk through this setup tab together. Just follow the steps in order and you'll be ready to start tracking your performance in no time. Step 1. Select your language. Start by choosing your preferred language from the drop-down menu. There are 7 languages available to choose from. Once you click on the desired language, all the menus in the dashboard will be translated automatically. This helps make sure your experience with the dashboard is as comfortable and accessible as possible. Step 2. Select your currency. Pick the currency you use for your hosting income and expenses. Whether it's dollars, euros, or pounds, selecting the right currency ensures your data is accurate throughout all the financial reports. Step 3. Hosting start date and date format. Next, tell us when you started hosting your properties. Select the month and year. This is important for tracking your progress over time. Then, choose your preferred date format. This makes sure that all the dates in your Excel dashboard are properly recognized and automatically calculated. Step 4. Income sources. Now let's talk about where your income is coming from. I've already listed the most well-known platforms like Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, and others to make things easier. However, you're free to type in your own if you use a different platform or method that isn't shown. There's space for up to 15 income sources, so go ahead and include everything that applies. Step 5. Property expenses. Here, you'll list the types of expenses related to your properties. This could include things like cleaning services, guest supplies, repairs, and more. I've already included the most common expenses for Airbnb hosts in the drop-down menu to help you get started quickly. Of course, you're welcome to write in your own if you have other expense types that aren't listed. You can also indicate whether each expense is recurring monthly, like a monthly subscription, or one-time, like a repair. If the expense is recurring, you only need to enter it once in the Manual Transactions Entry tab. Don't worry, we'll get to that section a little later. Step 6. Property types. What kind of properties do you manage? Shared rooms, private rooms, entire homes? Use this section to specify your property types. This info will be useful for filtering data later on and comparing performance. Almost done. Finally, it's time to list each of your properties by name, exactly as they appear on the platform. You can also fill in optional details like the type of property, how many guests it accommodates, and the number of beds and bathrooms. These extra details may help improve the accuracy of your reports and statistics. Please make sure you add each property name exactly as it is displayed on your platform in order to be able to track your income and expenses automatically. And that's it for this setup. I've designed it to be quick, simple, and user-friendly so you can get started with confidence. Now let's move on to the next tab, My Properties. In this section, you'll see the properties you listed earlier during the setup phase, along with all the details you provided. Here, you have the opportunity to set your property profit goals for the next 5 years. These goals will later be compared with your actual profit in another part of the dashboard, giving you a clear picture of how you're progressing. To make things even easier, you'll notice red buttons placed throughout the sheet. These are interactive tools designed to help you navigate and update your information more efficiently. As a tip, anytime you see a cell in this red color, it means it's a clickable button or a shortcut, helping you move through the dashboard faster and more smoothly. Take a moment to fill out your goals, and once you're done, we'll head to the next tab to start entering real data. Let's move on to the next tab. Airbnb CSV paste here. This sheet is only used for pasting the CSV report you get from Airbnb. Let's take a look and go step by step to see how this is done. Step 1. Download your transaction CSV from Airbnb first, open Airbnb and go to your account. Next, navigate to Payments and Payouts. From there, click on Payouts and then go to Transaction History. Scroll down to see your list of transactions. At this point, Airbnb may ask you to complete two-step authentication. Enter the PIN you've set up to continue. Once you're in, you'll see all your transactions. You can filter by date, you can even set out custom dates. But for the full history, I recommend selecting all dates. Then scroll down until you see the button, Get CSV Report. Click it, then select Create Report. A .csv file will be generated and downloaded to your device. Click Save, then locate the file in your downloads and double-click to open it. Step 2. Clean up the CSV. Using Excel's text to columns with the CSV open, click the Data tab at the top. Click the letter A to select the entire first column. Now click Text to Columns. Make sure Delimited is selected, then click Next. In the Delimiter options, check comma and uncheck everything else. Check the preview below to make sure your data looks correct. Click Next, then select Text as the column data format. Click Finish. Your data is now clean and properly organized. Step 3. Copy and paste into your Airbnb Excel tracker. Select all the cleaned data, press Ctrl+C or right-click and select Copy. Go back to the Airbnb CSV Paste Here tab. Find the next blank row, right-click, and choose Paste as Values. Look for the one labeled 123. And that's it. Your transaction history has now been successfully imported into the tracker. Navigating the Airbnb CSV Paste tab. Here you can see the steps we previously explained. This button takes you directly to the next empty row, so you don't have to scroll or search for it yourself. These two buttons on the right give you quick access to help. One brings you right back to this full tutorial, and the other takes you straight to the Text to Columns tutorial in case you want a deeper dive into that step. Let's move on to the Manual Transactions Entry tab of your Airbnb Income and Expense Tracker. If you're using platforms that don't sync automatically, like Direct Bookings, Booking.com, or others outside of Airbnb, make sure to manually enter all those transactions here so your dashboard reflects your full activity. Let's walk through each column step by step to ensure everything is clear and easy to use. Column A, Date. Start by entering the date of the transaction. Make sure to use the same date format you selected in the Setup tab, day/month/year, month/day/year, or year/month/day. To make it easier, there's a button at the top of this page showing your currently selected format. If you ever need to change the format, just click the text that says, "Click here to change the format." This will instantly take you to the Setup tab and highlight the cell where you can update the date format. Column B, Category Next, choose the type of transaction from the drop-down menu. There are three options: booking, expense, or additional income. Column C, Description. This column changes based on what you selected in column B. If you selected booking, you'll see a drop-down list of all the properties you added in the Setup tab. If you selected expense, you'll get a list of your expense categories from the Setup tab. If you chose additional income, you can type a custom description like cleaning fee or late checkout. Once entered, that description will be saved and offered as a drop-down option in future entries. Column D, Platform or Source. This also depends on the transaction type. If it's a booking, select the platform, like Airbnb or others you set up earlier. If it's an expense or additional income, Select the related property name from the dropdown. You may also choose all properties or leave it blank if the expense does not refer to a specific property. Column E, Currency. This is the currency you chose in the Setup tab. It's automatically filled in, so please do not make any changes here. Column F, Amount. Enter the total amount of the transaction, whether it's income from a booking, an expense, or extra income. Column G, Check-in Date. Only needed if the transaction is a booking. Enter the check-in date using the same format you selected in the Setup tab. If it's not a booking, this field will be reddish to remind you it should stay blank. Column H, Checkout Date. Same as the check-in field, this should only be filled for bookings. Enter the checkout date in your chosen format. If it's an expense or additional income, this field will also appear reddish and should be left empty. Columns I, J, and K. These three columns are automatically calculated and should not be edited. Column 1 calculates the total number of nights for each booking. Column J is the currency again, automatically filled. Column K is the nightly rate, calculated based on your check-in, check-out, and total amount. There's no need to change these columns. That's it for the Manual Transactions Entry tab. Take your time, use the drop-downs where available, and don't forget, your Setup tab choices personalize your experience here. Now that you've entered your transactions, it's time to see the big picture. But before we continue, I'll add some sample data for you. This will allow the Property Dashboard and other tabs to display accurately so you can better understand how everything works together. See you in the next step. Welcome to the Property Dashboard. Unlike many Excel-based dashboards that overload you with data and make it hard to find what actually matters, this dashboard was designed to be clean, simple, and genuinely useful. I personally spent hours researching the most widely used channel manager platforms, identifying the key performance metrics that truly matter to short-term rental hosts. The result? A streamlined dashboard with only the most important charts and summaries, so you can focus on insight, not overwhelm. I'll walk you through how to use these charts effectively to grow your business. Step 1. Select the time period. Before anything else, select your desired date range. You'll choose the start and end dates by setting the day, month, and year separately. Once selected, the dashboard will automatically update and calculate your income, expenses, profit, and occupancy across all properties for the chosen period. Top section, Financial Overview. At the very top, you'll find a clear summary of the following totals across all your properties: total income, total expenses, total profit, and your profit margin. This gives you an instant snapshot of how your business performed in the selected time frame. Let's now take a closer look at the two powerful bar charts below the overview. 1. Income and expense by property. This bar chart compares income and expenses for each property. You'll see the property names listed on the y-axis and the financial amounts on the x-axis, with blue bars representing income and red bars showing expenses. Why this chart matters? This chart helps you quickly spot which properties are most and least profitable. If a property has high expenses but low income, you'll know to dig deeper and address issues, whether it's poor pricing, high maintenance costs, or low occupancy. Aim for a healthy blue bar that clearly outpaces the red. 2. Occupancy rate by property. This bar chart shows how well each property was booked. Again, property names are on the y-axis, and the occupancy percentage is on the x-axis. Why this chart matters? Occupancy rate is key to revenue. If a property's occupancy is low, that's a red flag. It may need better pricing, improved visibility on platforms, or seasonal strategy adjustments. Use this chart to identify underperformers and take action. 3. Quick stats list, profit and occupancy highlights. To the right of the charts, there's a simple, insightful list with 3 columns: property name, total profit, and occupancy rate. In addition, properties with below-average occupancy are highlighted. This is your call to action. Properties in red are not reaching their potential and may require attention. Use this list to prioritize which listings need optimization first, whether that means refreshing your photos, reviewing your listing descriptions, adjusting pricing, or improving guest experience. Extra dashboard controls. On the right of this list, you'll find two helpful buttons. Centralize button. If you're working on a smaller screen or a laptop, click this to recenter the dashboard view. It makes sure the overview, charts, and quick stats list all appear within view, no scrolling around. Down arrow button. This button takes you to the second section of the dashboard, which includes more detailed analysis. We'll cover that part soon. Now let's move to the second part of the property dashboard, where you'll gain even deeper insights into your property's performance over time. While the first section was based on a specific date range, here the analysis is structured around annual performance and individual properties. Step 1. Select property and year. At the top, use the drop-down menus to select a property or choose all properties to view overall performance. Select a year. This determines which data set the dashboard will display. Once you've made your selections, all charts below will update automatically reflect to your choices. 1. Income versus occupancy rate. This line chart shows you month-by-month performance for the selected year. On the x-axis, you'll see the months from January to December. On the left y-axis, you have total monthly income. On the right y-axis, you have occupancy percentage. Two lines move across the chart, one for income and one for occupancy. Why this chart matters? This is an incredibly useful chart because it helps you understand the relationship between bookings and revenue. For example, if income is high even when occupancy is low, it might mean your nightly rate was higher. Great job. If both are low, it signals a weak period. And if occupancy is high but income is flat, it could mean your pricing strategy needs a boost. You'll also clearly spot seasonality trends, helping you better plan your pricing and marketing in advance. 2. 5-year financial overview, column plus line chart. The second chart gives you a long-term perspective. It shows the last 5 years of financial performance, ending with the year you selected above. Each year displays a blue column for income, a red column for expenses, and a profit line with exact values above each point. Why this chart matters? This chart helps you track your progress year over year. Are you growing consistently? Is profit increasing even if income stays stable? Use this to reflect on your financial journey and measure long-term success. It's your business's health check at a glance. 3. Reservation source breakdown. This pie chart shows which platforms your bookings came from. Each slice is color-coded by platform like Airbnb, Booking.com, or Direct Bookings. Why this chart matters? Understanding where your guests are coming from helps you focus your efforts. If one platform is underperforming, maybe it's time to update that listing or explore other marketing channels. 4. Total occupancy rate, meter chart. This is a meter-style chart that shows your overall occupancy rate for the selected year and property. Why this chart matters? It gives you a quick sense of how efficiently your space is being used. A low occupancy rate suggests missed revenue opportunities. A high rate means you're maximizing potential, but might also indicate it's time to raise your prices. 5. Progress toward monthly profit goals. This chart tracks your monthly profit goals from the My Properties tab and compares them with your actual results. For example, if you set a monthly goal of $4,300 in total from January to April, and today is May 1st, you'd expect to have earned that by now. If your current profit is $4,270, as we see on the 5-year chart, it shows you're at about 98% of your goal so far. That's pretty close. Why this chart matters? This lets you track progress in real time and adjust your strategy month to month. The percentage alone doesn't tell you if you're doing good or bad, only how close you are to the goals you set. The rest depends on how realistic or ambitious your targets were. 6. Progress toward annual profit goals. Right beside it, this line chart tracks your full year goal. Example: if your annual profit goal is $13,000 and your current profit is $4,270, The chart will show you've reached about 33% of your annual target. Why this chart matters? This gives you the long-term view. It keeps you focused and accountable over the full year, not just in short bursts. If you're falling behind early in the year, you've got time to course correct. Back to the top, navigation button. Finally, just above the needle chart, you'll see a button with an upward arrow. Clicking it instantly scrolls you back to the top of the dashboard, so you can adjust your selections or revisit the overview and charts from Part 1. Wrap up. Why this section matters. This second part of the dashboard is about strategy, reflection, and growth. You're not just tracking what happened. You're using real data to predict trends, adjust your goals, and optimize your performance over time. With both parts of the property dashboard combined, you now have everything you need to manage your Airbnb business like a pro, whether you have one listing or 10. Let's move on to the Summary tab, a simplified yet powerful snapshot of your property's financial performance. While the property dashboard gives you visual insights and charts, the Summary tab focuses on clean, table-based data to help you quickly understand where your money is coming from and where it's going. Step 1. Select property and year. Start by using the drop-down menus to choose a specific property or select all properties for a combined view. Then select the year you'd like to analyze. Once selected, the two tables below will automatically update. Left table. Income breakdown by platform. This blue table shows how much income your property earned from each booking platform, such as Airbnb, Vrbo, Booking.com, and others. Here's what's included. Income totals for the last 3 years, including the one you selected. For example, if you choose 2025, you'll see data from 2023, 2024, and 2025. A total column showing the 3-year cumulative income per platform, an average column calculating the yearly average. The first row shows the overall total income across all platforms. Platforms are sorted from most profitable to least, so you can immediately see which channels are bringing you the most revenue. Why this is important? This table helps you understand your strongest revenue sources over time. You might find, for example, that one platform consistently underperforms, so you can decide whether to optimize that listing or focus your energy elsewhere. It also helps you track platform performance year over year to spot any trends or drops. Right table, expense breakdown by category. The second table in red does the exact same type of analysis, this time for your expenses. It breaks down expenses by category, like cleaning, maintenance, utilities, and so on. You'll again see figures for the last 3 years, along with a total and an average. The first row shows the total of all expenses for the selected property and time period. Like the income table, it's sorted from the biggest to the smallest expense, so you can quickly spot where the majority of your costs are going. Above this table, you'll also see the profit for the last 3 years, along with the total profit and the average annual profit. Why this is important? These summaries help you track cost behavior, manage profitability, and identify areas to cut back if needed. For example, if one expense category is growing faster than your income, it might be time to renegotiate a service or change how something is managed. Combined with the income analysis on the left, this tab offers a clear, at-a-glance view of your financial health over time. No guesswork, no clutter. Welcome to the next tab, Calendar, your visual guide to all your reservations, organized by property and month. This is where you get a quick, at-a-glance overview of which nights are booked, where your guests are staying, and whether any issues like double bookings have occurred. Step 1. At the top of the tab, select the month and year you want to view. Once selected, the calendar automatically updates to show the booking activity for that period. Below the selector, you'll see a list of all your properties lined up vertically on the left-hand side. Step 2. Read the calendar view. To the right of each property, you'll see a horizontal line of dates representing the entire month. The colored blocks represent reservations or occupied nights. Bluish and reddish tones are used to visually separate bookings between properties. This makes it easier to tell them apart at a glance. Now let's talk about the purple color, which is used to flag overlapping activity. There are 2 important scenarios where purple appears. If someone checks out and another guest checks in on the same day, that date will appear purple, sandwiched between blue bars. This is completely valid. It just means you've got a tight same-day transition. Make sure cleaning and check-in instructions are clear. However, if you see multiple purple dates in a row, this means there's a double booking. This needs your attention. Either it's a data entry mistake or you've genuinely overbooked and should take action. The Calendar tab helps prevent costly mistakes like double bookings, missed check-ins, or unprepared turnovers. It also gives you a simple but powerful visual snapshot of occupancy across your properties, without having to read through lists or dashboards. Keeping an eye on this page regularly will help you stay organized, proactive, and always one step ahead in managing your bookings. And now it's time for the Price Recommendation tab, the final and perhaps most advanced part of this spreadsheet. This tool uses a carefully built algorithm, crafted over many hours using complex Excel logic, to give you smart, data-informed pricing suggestions for your short-term rental. It's designed to mimic the logic of AI-based pricing tools, but in a format that's fully transparent and under your control. Step 1. Select your property. At the top of the page, start by choosing the property you'd like to price. Here, selecting all properties won't give you the data you want, so please try to choose each property separately. Step 2. Choose the month and year. Just below, select the month and year you want to receive pricing recommendations for. Once selected, the tool goes to work, analyzing your historical data to find the most optimal price per week for the selected month. How the algorithm works. The pricing recommendation isn't random. It takes into account the same month from 2 years ago, the same month last year, and the month immediately before the one you selected. It also evaluates the occupancy rate of each week within the selected month to detect demand patterns and seasonal trends. By combining these data points, the algorithm calculates a recommended weekly price that helps you stay competitive and maximize income. The more historical data you have, the better the recommendations will be. If this is a new property with little or no data yet, the tool won't be able to provide suggestions. In that case, we recommend doing a manual competitor analysis, check similar listings in your area, look at their pricing, and use that as a starting point until more of your own data is available. And that's it. You've now explored every tab in this powerful Airbnb spreadsheet. From tracking transactions and visualizing performance, to spotting trends, optimizing prices, and avoiding double bookings, this tool was designed to help you run your short-term rental business with clarity, confidence, and control. I truly hope you enjoy using this spreadsheet as much as I enjoyed creating it. If you found it helpful, simple, or just well thought out, I'd be incredibly grateful if you'd consider leaving a review, sharing your thoughts, or even just spreading the word to a fellow host. Your feedback helps me keep improving and creating better tools for the community. Thanks again, and happy hosting.